I'm not certain there's an ACUNS video to introduce Tom Wies's successor, Krista Jonsson, but maybe in Vienna you'll have some steel pan to accompany you. Thank you to Jerry, to Joy, and to Joni. And it's a great pleasure to welcome Krista on his first public occasion to say closing remarks. I'll just make a few thereafter as we head towards the reception. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Well, the reason I sit here before you tonight is that as of today, I succeed Tom Wies as chair of the ACUNS Board of Directors. And I've said it earlier, it's a very tough act to follow. Again, thank you, Tom, for everything you have done for ACUNS. Tom has done everything in ACUNS, and there's no way anyone can match his experience, and I'm very happy that Tom remains on the board so we can take advantage of his experience and wisdom. The first task in my new role is a very pleasant one. It's really to express gratitude on behalf of all of us to all those people who have made this experience possible, this very successful annual meeting, I would say unforgettable annual meeting. And we owe thanks to a great number of people. We owe thanks to Dr. Clement Sankat, the principal of the St. Augustine campus of the University of the West Indies, and his staff, especially Mrs. Betty McCombie. We owe a lot of thanks to the person sitting next to me, Tim Shaw, director of the Institute of International Relations, and his colleagues and staff, especially Mrs. Marilyn Ramon de Fortuné. And Tim, of course, is a long-standing member of ACUNS, and without Tim, we wouldn't be here. Thank you so much. We are also grateful for all the student volunteers, the Blue Angels, who have constantly led us on the right path, and we owe them a lot of thanks. Thank you, all of you. The university staff have been very helpful, especially the staff of the Learning Resource Center. We thank Dr. Marcia de Castro and all the collaborating UN agencies and international organizations, especially His Excellency Luis Fernando Andrade Fala, the Secretary General of the Association of Caribbean States. We are grateful to Mr. Elton Prescott, the President of the UN Association of Trinidad and Tobago. We thank all who provided receptions, lunches, coffee breaks, and transportation, including the Dean of Social Sciences here at UWI, and of course, their Excellencies, the President and First Lady of Trinidad and Tobago. A very memorable reception. It's not often that we move in those circles. And of course, we thank all the plenary and workshop speakers and all the participants. And last but not least, thank you, Patty and Brenda, who have been keeping watching on the proceedings and have helped us in the right direction. You could say, I mean, very often you say that coordinating academics is similar to herding cats. Well, you have managed. Thank you very much. In my brief remarks, because we're all waiting for Tim's reception, I thought I'd first say a few words about who I am, because I'm not as well known as Tom Weiss, and then a few words of how I envision the future of ACUNS. I am a professor at the Department of Political Science at Lund University in Sweden, founded in 1666, so I wasn't there, but I got my PhD in 1975, and if you ask my age, I usually say I'm 25 years with 40 years of experience. Our department has been an institutional member of ACUNS since the early 1990s, and I've participated in several annual meetings. My research interests have been in negotiation, diplomacy, international organization, international cooperation. I wrote my dissertation on Soviet bargaining behavior, and then you realize I'm part of antiquity. My experience of academic multilateralism is that I have been president of the Nordic International Studies Association, NISA. And recently I've been selected a member of the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences. And I'm sitting in a section that considers candidates for the Nobel Prize in Economy. So if you have any proposals or see yourself as a candidate, let me know. Right now I'm directing a 6-year program, Lund-Stockholm program called Democracy Beyond the Nation State, big question mark, Transnational Actors and Global Governance. And we are cooperating with several ACUNS members in that effort. I am, as of this month, retiring from my department in order to give this research program and ACUNS undivided attention. There are many reasons I like ACUNS. For one thing, it's one of the few places where academics and practitioners can meet and interact. It's also a place where you can combine realism and idealism, which I think is one of the values of ACUNS. It's also an organization that has an annual meeting and conference of a manageable size. Many of the other professional academic organizations, I won't mention any names in order not to embarrass Tom, tend to be too big, have thousands of participants. And my experience is that this format is ideal for young researchers to make their first appearances, trying out their ideas and so forth, whereas some of these other academic conferences can be overwhelming. In trying then, to outline some areas where I would like to concentrate my efforts, I'm influenced by a book from 1984 by Max Atkinson called Our Masters' Voices. In this book he addresses the question, what kinds of political messages are capable of striking chords within an audience? And he relied on audio and video type material, and he noted when the audience applauded. One of the findings in this book is that lists of 3 items please audiences. They have somehow an air of unity or completeness about them. Lists of 2 appear to be inadequate or incomplete. And he also noted if you try longer lists, more than 3, you get the applause after 3. It's very interesting. And of course, if you recall a number of memorable quotes such as Veni, Vidi, Vici, Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité, government of the people, by the people, for the people. The list is extremely long. Okay, with this in mind, I'll try to single out 3 areas where I think we could improve. And the 3 areas are membership, teaching, visibility. I'll take them in the... no, yeah, you will. Well, yeah. Well, it's... and you're the only one who got the message, right? Okay. This also makes nicely for a memorable acronym, MTV. No associations beyond that. MTV, okay, membership. I think we can do better along several dimensions. Geographically. Think of Asia. I noted in the statistics that ACUNS has more members in Trinidad and Tobago than in China and India combined. And even with those logos and so forth, it's not exactly the way the world looks. I think we can look at age groups. I think it's very important to recruit younger researchers and practitioners. And if we think in terms of categories, we could have many more practitioners as members. We heard Tom the other day talk about the growing international civil service, and there is a large potential membership there. Those of them that we want to have as members. We will launch, or our headquarters office will launch a membership drive shortly. But I think this is something we could all contribute to. I would ask each one of you really to make an inventory of your professional network and try to identify those who are not yet members of ACUNS and influence them to join. Teaching, the second one, in our bylaws it says that we are an educational and research association. There tends, especially at annual meetings like this, to be more emphasis on research than on teaching. But teaching about international organization today, I think, is extremely important at all levels. I welcome the initiative by Henrike Pepke and Julia Hafenstetter and a broader network labeled UN Studies Association to develop an interactive knowledge base with reading material, syllabi, bibliographies and other kinds of material as part of the ACUNS website. There are a number of things to discuss there, but we think this is something that could add value to the organization. I also think we need to find ways to get more practitioners into classrooms. And I think ACUNS is really a good organization to facilitate that kind of links. Visibility, finally, then. We have discussed in the board, and we want to look for ways of making the brand ACUNS more visible and better known.